this is Dick Warlock, Michael Myers from Halloween 2, and you're listening to the Tim and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Tim and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in mind cry, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, happy Halloween, Harley.
Hey, Timo, happy Halloween to you too, my man.
It is a spooky Halloween
Ooh, it's
yes.
spooky. I don't even know if I want to come into the show today, so I'm scared.
Right. Ooh. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. It is Halloween week. Not to us right now recording this. We're still about 3 years out.
Yes.
It takes us a little while. Yeah. We record a little bit behind the times, as you say, Mr. Ben Harley. About a week and a half before you hear this, we're recording it. So, but we understand when you hear our pretty voices, it will be Halloween week. So happy Halloween. Right. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yeah, you too, Timo.
You got your mummy out, right?
Yeah, my mummy, yes. Like I said, it's very scary here right now at the screen printing factory. Yes, I have a mummy and a ghoulish ghoul hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
It's funny, though, because I hung it up, I was thinking, when people come in, maybe I'll give them a little scared. Well, it's got me 3 times now in the morning. I come in at 5:30 in the morning. It's pretty dark, and so, I scared myself a couple times. So.
Nice.
I got a few things hung up, Timo. Yeah, we're getting ready for Halloween coming up here. Got a big Halloween wrestling match coming up.
Oh, that's right. That's right. By the time you hear this, actually, it'll be today. If you listen on Sunday, it'll be today because it was. Just give us a date and time and place and everything.
Yeah, actually, it is the 28th, Sunday the 28th.
That'll be today if you listen.
Yeah, St. Clemens Hall.
St. Clemens Hall. So get your booties out there. Get your booties out there if you're listening.
Yeah. And help the potentate because he might get accosted.
Now those other 2 knuckleheads, they're trying to steal back back the belts, right?
Yeah. They're trying to take our belts that we won legitimately, Timo.
Well, they can't be complaining to you guys that they're trying to steal them. That's just the way things are going right now, I guess.
Hey, like I said, this is big time wrestling, not checkers, my friend.
That's true. Yeah. So, you got that going on.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, we got a Fragile Porcelain My show coming up, but that's not until I think the day after Thanksgiving. I think the 23rd of November with The Urge, and then Logic is warming up too, that's a band that was around here for a few years ago.
Yeah.
So that should be a fun show. And of course we have Halloween, and it was funny because Angio she actually apologized to me that she didn't have any Halloween decorations up. I just looked at her. I just looked at her like.
Look around.
Yeah, I mean the house. We have a permanent Day of the Dead autographed George Romero poster hanging in our sunroom. There's horror stuff everywhere. There's a Hitchcock thing sitting on our mantle. So and that's not even upstairs. That's just downstairs. But
it's just downstairs. Yeah. Wait till you get upstairs. Wait till you get downstairs.
Well, downstairs that's Chance's domain. So that's just just spooky because it's messed up. He doesn't not the most tidy kid. Let's put it that way. And what kid is? I guess, right? So,
right, exactly.
But right. Well, it's one of those deals where look, we don't get any trick or treaters here, like now I haven't lived here through a Halloween, but I'm gonna go out on a limb.
You're a little far out.
We're a little far out. Yeah, there are kids that live around here, but we're all pretty spread out. Look, I've lived out in the country before. It's not my first rodeo doing this stuff.
Right.
The kids just don't trick or treat out in these areas. They don't do it. No. So, but that's okay. That's all right. Halloween is Halloween. And I don't know. Halloween, Harley, as I'm getting older, is a little bit like, it's kind of like doing the opposite of Christmas is. Christmas makes me feel kind of good. Halloween's like, every day's Halloween.
Right.
Really is.
Well, since I haven't had a house, it hasn't been as much fun for me. Done a little bit here at this shop. I know my shop that I had There, the Parkway Plaza, I was able to do a little bit more, fun stuff. But yeah, it's a little bit harder. You know, I'd like to do more. When we had our house, I remember I would spend the whole month, of October getting the house ready and everything. And I remember one particular year, Timo, I spent the whole month getting everything together. And it rained between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. and then stopped raining about 8:05. It just ruined everything. It ruined everything I had, all my lights and, everything I had up in the fog, all of it, it just ruined all of it.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I do miss that part of Halloween. I do get to go out and with I have so many kids now.
Just pick one.
I'm still, I'm still going trick or treat.
Right,
so,
right.
But
you'll be trick or treating for quite a while.
Right. I'd rather just sit at home and pass out candy, to tell you the truth. So,
I don't like doing that. I can't stand answer my door. You can imagine me.
I'd rather just sit on the porch, maybe scare a couple kids here and there.
Yeah.
Something like that. And just, I like the Halloween spirit. I like that, the outside of the Halloween reminds me of my youths and stuff like that. Right. It's not like it used to be.
Right. Oh, no,
not like it used to be, my friend.
Well, we just got out of about, I don't know how long we lived at that old house, like 12 years, about a dozen years of Halloweens and stuff like that.
That's a lot.
So,
yeah. You really went all out, which was cool.
What's funny? I did. And it took me about an hour or two to set all that up. It literally wasn't very thought out. And again, it's like I said, every day is Halloween. If you looked at my house then and looked at my house now, you wouldn't know if it was Halloween or if it was Arbor Day. Like it's always had horror decorations and Halloween stuff up because that's what I like.
You really don't have graves out in front of your house. Right? Well, you do now. You do now.
Yeah. But well, that's true. I got them right down the road. Yeah, real ones, exactly.
Real ones,
and the Saxtown Witch is haunting my woods, Mr. Ben Harley.
Oh,
haunting my woods.
Yeah, you told me, or I saw that little video.
Yeah,
oh, man, that's kind of creepy. I'm a little. I think that's what you're hearing out there. That screeching.
It might be. So that's
I'm
that
coming
bridge.
out there the next time. Yeah,
that's that bridge that you cross whenever you almost get to that straightaway where you go to where you're like almost driving straight toward my parents' place. And you get those hills and everything. That bridge back there. That's the one that.
Yep.
The family was.
I had a really weird feeling when I went over that bridge. I did. I remember that bridge.
I'm almost done driving.
Yeah, exactly. Finally.
So, yeah, there is a story out here for everyone listening that about 100 years ago or so, there was a guy that became bewitched by a woman and it caused him to hang his family off of a bridge here on my road.
Yeah,
that we actually
like a King
walked
Diamond song.
a little bit, yeah. And then supposedly the Saxtown Witch that was bewitching the guy haunts the woods I'm in, that I live in. And sometimes apparently you can see the family still swinging on the. I've never seen a family swinging. Here's the first thing: you can't see under the bridge to begin with. They could be swinging there, going, "Dang it, Charlie! We can't scare anybody from down here. Nobody can see us."
The reflection in the water, Tim.
I think I might tell Chance that story right before bed one of these nights, just to screw with
good
him.
night.
Yeah, right there in these here woods, here, buddy.
Yeah.
So again, it is Happy Halloween. As we were speaking about, it is Halloween. Now, Ben Harley, there's a big commotion going on in the community because now I'm an old cane waver, cranky dude.
What community are we talking about?
Well, the horror community. There's a new Halloween movie out, and people just got their feathers ruffled. They're just. And it's just like they're going crazy because it's a new Halloween movie. I'm like, there's been about a dozen.
There's been a lot of
that have come out that have all pretty much disappointed as opposed to the original. Yeah. I think some people are a little easier to please than myself, Mr. Ben Harley. I think that's a fact. Actually, that's not even just a maybe. That's a fact. But I have to tell you, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not excited about it. I've heard people say it's great. I heard people say H2O was great when it came out. I heard people talk about all of these movies.
Those are mild horror fans.
I think people just they like to be spoon-fed this stuff, and they just they'll like anything that comes out. I think sometimes like no, it's just no. I don't think so. I think what's here is here. I'm happy with what's here as far as like movie history. If they don't make another horror movie, I'm only going to be upset if it's not a good one. I don't care anymore. It's like, you don't have to make another. I mean, look, no offense to anyone, and including yourself, they don't have to make another Godzilla movie. I got Godzilla movies. They don't have to make another Halloween. I got Halloween.
You take that back. Did you say Godzilla?
I did. They don't have to make another King Comet. They don't have to make another Jaws remake. They don't have to make. We got them. We've got these movies, you know. Now, on the other hand, if you want to,
final hope.
if you want to make a, let's say, I don't know, if you want to make another original piece of artwork like they did when they made Rare Exports, like when they made Behind the Mask, Tucker and Dale, these are good movies. And they're not sequels to anything.
Right.
They might have a little nod to something here or there. Not as bad as Tarantino or Zombie do, but they might have a little nod here or there. But, you know, come on, let's those movies are here. Let them influence what you do. Don't try to recreate it. It's kind of a shortcut. So
a little bit, and sometimes it's just not done very well. It's just not done well at all. They phone them in, and it's just, I don't know. This one, I'm a little. I said we talked about this in the space-time continuum a little. I'm really. I know how touchy you are about Halloween, and I respect that. All the way, because you know, Jaws is my favorite movie of all time. But as far as horror, I mean, Jaws is a horror movie, but to me, sometimes it's more of a, I don't know. It's not all horror. You know what I mean? Nor is Halloween either. But Halloween to me is my favorite, maybe horror film of all time. You know what I'm saying? It's just, for me, it is. That's my favorite character in horror. Now, I can't say Bruce is my favorite character in horror. You know, Jaws. I love Jaws. I do. I think he's iconic. But so anyways,
So Harley, you mean would it bother you then if they just changed the shark into a hammerhead?
Yeah, I'd be very upset. Very upset. I don't ever want to see, because that's going to happen. And some people want it. I don't want it. And I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Now, I'm taking it a little bit hard because in this one, part 2 didn't exist, which I don't feel like it could have. It still could have in this world, whatever we're saying now, which H2O doesn't exist in this new world. You know what I mean? So whatever. It's hard to explain. So I was on board for 1, 2. I don't like 3. I remember where I was. I was in college when 4 came out. I remember going to see it with some other, Halloween fans. And there's parts of those. 4 is okay. 5, the wheels fall off at the end. Just fall off. But I had a hard time with those, Timo, mostly because of what Michael Myers looks like. And I did. The movies were, they're okay. They're not going to be Halloween. Nothing will ever be like that. Nothing will ever be Psycho. It won't. It just, so, this one, from what I've seen, I don't really care about the story. I know my oldest daughter has seen it and wants me to go with her, which I'm happy about that. I'm glad. She already told me I was going to be salty. And I remember her and I went and saw Zombies together. And, that's another story for another time. Right. I'm not a fan. She knows. She's not either. But she knows how that stuff I am. That stuff affects me. I don't know why I take it so personal. I am with the superhero costumes. That's how I am with Michael Myers too. And I don't know. This one, we'll see. He looks enough like him, and there were some scenes in that trailer that I might just be good enough just seeing those. I'll watch those couple scenes and be like, "Wow, that's cool." I don't know if I could take the whole movie and still. We'll see. Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm going in real low expectations. I'm just happy right now that it looks like Michael Myers to me. It does. And I'm very, I even bought a mask back when I was in college to make a mask that looked like Michael Myers because I couldn't stand the ones they had in 4 and 5. He fell down a hole wearing one mask and came out the well wearing a different mask in part 5. Come on.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just, for me, that's just laziness.
Right. Well, my whole thing is like when I know this sounds odd, but when I see, like, if I wear my Halloween hoodie that I got from Scary Gary Nichols from Red Death Studios, there's a little plug
there's
for
a
you.
Good
there's
plug,
a plug, yeah. I don't want people to think Rob Zombie's movie.
No.
And I don't want them to even for a second consider that thing was any more than toilet paper to me.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about it because it's out there. And people,
Right.
some young people, and it's okay, they don't care. It's not like going to run the world or make it any better or worse, but they don't even know it exists sometimes.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh man, that was great when Danny Trejo did this and that. And I'm like, oh, Jesus God, drop. It's not that movie. What do you mean? It is too. It's happened to me a couple times, especially around Millstown, and it's like, and we were texting about this last night. I'm going to explain myself really good about this. And I think last night pretty good. When I was a Ute, when I was a kid, I was born in 73. All right. Halloween came out in 78. So I saw it in 79, 80, something like that. When it very first came on cable, I saw it. Probably the night it premiered, actually. Come to think of it, knowing now how cable operates, where they premiere their big movies on Friday or Saturdays. That's what it was. It was a Friday or Saturday night, and they were playing spooky movies on Showtime or HBO, whatever it was I was watching. It was at my grandma's with my Aunt Sharon.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Boyce. Hi, boys. And so that just affected me. It was just a huge effect. And people still to this day do not understand that when you saw that movie at the very end where he gets shot off of that balcony and he's not there anymore, that didn't happen. That didn't happen before. That was not cliched. That was the originator of the cliche of you can't kill him, you can't keep him down or whatever.
And you can still hear him breathing and moving.
Right.
Like, not moving, but they kept showing where he was.
Yes.
And you could hear him breathing.
Right. So
and you still feel like, oh God, he's still there. He's still there. He's around. Where is he?
They were recapping every place that he had attacked or been or something like that. And he was breathing, but you couldn't see him, but you could hear him. So once again.
It got louder and louder. I loved it.
So then Halloween 2 comes out. And then you have, because in the end of Halloween, he gets up and he walks away. So Halloween 2 is a perfect puzzle piece to that. Is it as good as Halloween? No, but it feels like Halloween. It's shot like Halloween. Carpenter was there way more than he let on at first. Directed
and as a kid, I did not know all the behind the scenes stuff. And I'm glad I did. You know what I mean? I didn't know, Dick Warlock is, no, I didn't know that.
Well, Carpenter actually hurt the movie. He didn't help it. He hurt it because he's the one that added some of the gore and some of the stuff that he thought he wanted to compete with the other movies. He sort of cut his own throat. I mean, no pun intended, whatever. But he sort of. But I think Rick Rosenthal wanted to make something that was much more like the original. So if you take some of the gore scenes out, you got something that's more like the original. Could have been kind of boring to some people, I guess. But the first one, it's a paced movie. It's a it's paced and very slowly speeds up. Very slowly speeds up. You're on a real like it's an incline, but it's not a steep one. You're heading for trouble. The whole movie, you're heading for trouble. You know it. So that's fine. So at the end of it, he burns. He dies. Yeah. There's no Michael sitting up. There's nothing like that. He's gone. I appreciated that. As a matter of fact, that whole deal scared me. Because this guy lasted that long and it took that much to get rid of him. I don't have the capabilities that those people did in those movies to fire guns into his eyeballs and things like that. If he's after me, I'm toast. I'm toast, So, and I know you, and you're not alone. A lot of people don't like Halloween 3. Well, I read about Halloween 3 when they were making it. I understood what they were doing because I read Fangoria when I was a little kid. That's the only reason. If you didn't read Fangoria, you probably didn't know. And then you felt duped when you went and saw Halloween 3. I, on the other hand, knew what they were doing, and I liked the movie. Did I like it as much as Halloween? Of course not. I didn't, but I didn't expect to. And I didn't expect Michael Myers. As a matter of fact, when I saw an ad for it, they had this shot with all of the henchmen walking down the road. Yeah. And they walk like Michael Myers. Don't they? They do. They look like it. And I was actually taken back thinking, what? Are there multiple Michael Myers now? Wait a minute. So I was like, I didn't know what was going on. So I had to see the movie to even understand what was going on. And it was a totally different movie. But that's what Carpenter wanted to do. He wanted to produce a yearly movie that was centered around Halloween. It was a totally different story. It was almost like a yearly Twilight Zone thing where he was going to do that. That's a great idea. Unfortunately, the studio promised him that they would advertise this well. That people would know this is not Michael Myers. This is just going to be a series of films now. Michael Myers kicked it off. So if you thought that, it was like, Amazing Stories. If you thought that this week was good, wait till next week, kind of thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're going to do. Unfortunately, it came off looking like a cash grab. It came off looking like something the Carpenter didn't intend. Fair enough. And poor Tommy Lee Wallace, I think did a great job directing that movie, whether you like it or not. He directed it well. The acting's not bad in it. And
no.
Didn't help.
It's not a bad movie at all.
It just frosts you. It frosts you.
Yeah, I just don't need it. I don't, if it was called Season of the Witch, I'd be totally cool with it.
That's what it
Not
should
that
have
I
been.
like that movie that much. I have a lot of friends, too, that are big fans of that film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I do like the, 6 More Days of Halloween, Silver Shamrock stuff. And then the kid, I like the bizarreness of it, and it has a Halloween feel to it, totally, or a Carpenter feel, especially of some of his films later, I thought even, this has that, but
it's a little, there's like these little subtle touches. Like, for instance, Halloween, the book. Believe it or not, I read the beginning of the book when I was a kid. I didn't read the whole thing, but the beginning of the book in Halloween talks all about druids, talks all about, it's spelt Sam Hain, but the pronunciation is Samhain. I'm not trying to be snotty or snooty, but it's Samhain. It's not Sam Hain. So it's a lot about Samhain, a lot about the druids, a lot about those old rites and things they used to do. Sure. And so if you look at Halloween 3, there's a little bit of that going on too. When Ed Hurley, I can't ever say his name. He's too Irish for me, Mr. Ben Harley. I got nothing for you. But they even talk a little bit about that. So I kind of, when I was a kid, I thought, well, what they're going to do is they're going to keep tying it into this old druid, the origins of Halloween. And from that, they're going to sprout different spooky little stories. Yeah. And there would have been some that would have been great, some that wouldn't have been bad, but you weren't dependent upon the last one. And for me, Michael Myers was dead. I got frosted when Halloween 4 came out. Yeah. Big time. And I haven't liked one of them since because I can't sit there and watch. I know why they're making them, but I can't sit there and watch them without going, man, come on, he died. He wasn't Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees started off dead. Right? Yeah. He drowned. At least legend, he drowned. Sure. Okay. Yeah. So he was almost more of a supernatural, spooky legend to begin with. He wasn't supposed to be alive to begin with. Michael Myers was just a dude.
He was a kid.
Man. He
started out as a kid.
Yes. He basically went murderous catatonic. And that's kind of all he did. And it scared you because someone in that condition probably can run around not feeling pain. And probably can keep going longer than they should and stuff. And so it all seemed real to me. And then when they came out with those, I'm like, forget it. Just forget it. And I mean, no disrespect. We have friends that are in those movies. We have friends who love those movies. It goes across the board. I don't like them. It's just not my thing. I'm a huge Halloween fan. Halloween,
it's not your bag.
No, Halloween 2 I thought was, it tied the story up. It tied the story up and gave you a couple more creepy kills. A hospital was a great setting. I thought Halloween 3 was great for what it was supposed to be, but even in history, it's not what it was supposed to have been. Right. So I understand. Right. I get it, but anyway, Mr. Ben Harley, that's my rant about it. So we'll see. I've seen on social media, people were already ranking the new Halloween movie in the, from 1 to 10 or whatever before they saw it. I'm serious.
Wait, what?
I am dead serious. I saw at least one person, if not two, say, okay, well, I haven't seen it yet, but I already know that this Halloween is going to fit right after our 3 for me. We're going to do, I'm like, man, what? Dude, you're after, either you're insane or you're really after attention or something. I don't know, man. It's like, go watch the movie. If it's good, hallelujah. Right. But I think people are homering for this thing kind of a little bit myself. And I've seen the trailers. I don't think he moves like Michael Myers at all. I know you like the way he looks. I think it looks fine, but it's just a mask and a jumpsuit. I mean,
I know. Well,
but they fucked it up. I was going to say, how hard is it? They did. Time. Yeah, they did.
And then damn Rob Zombie had him walk around without a mask for almost an entire movie. Like, what is wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
It makes me want to, I do have some love for part 4. I do. I do like part 4. There's moments of 5 I like. They did do some cool things, but it came down to the look of Michael Myers and the mask, and then druids and bullshit, and guys look like Richie Sambora, and I just, what is going on? I know jailbreaks and crap.
Right.
That's it for me.
Well, that's the thing.
It lost me. That's when I really started. Yeah. Horror really started to, it punched me in the face.
Well, and that's what was funny too, because I remember that when the druids and the guy in the top hat, or the guy in the hat and the long coat came, whatever the hell that was all about.
Richie Sambora?
Yeah, Richie Sambora came around in like the 6th one or something to help him out. And it's like, in fairness, a lot of that stuff was in the original, it was in the novelization of the first film, but it wasn't like that. It was just explaining that Halloween is a spooky time, and this could explain some kind of leftover lineage. It was
Hollywood evil.
Yes,
Halloween.
So it is what it is. It really is, But I'm gonna watch. If it's good, great. I guarantee you, I'm not gonna love it. But if I like it, it's gonna be a win. It's gonna be a huge win. But I do already have the problem. And I told you this too. To me, this is already looking like a Halloween 2 reboot. Because it's acting like Halloween 2 didn't exist. So, and that's a little insulting.
That's what it feels like. Well, even in that trailer part that I sent you or whatever, it's almost exactly what he did when he went and got, the knife.
Yeah, I saw that.
What's her name? Yeah. The old lady, like it's almost. So, yeah, you're right. And that offends me a little.
Me too. I'm
a Halloween 2 homer. I'm a Jaws 2 homer.
Halloween 2 is a very flawed film, but it's good, at least keeping the exact same story, moving exactly forward, and it is what it is, But, anyway, so I hope it's good. And I'm not just besmirching anybody who went and saw it and liked it. I'm not saying that. I just think there was a little bit of...
They're just dumb.
Well, no, I just think there was a little bit of people getting fired up before they even saw it. It's like, don't you remember Resurrection? Don't you remember where it was like the what was it? Closed circuit television thing with the online show? Yeah. Yeah, that was that. Don't Buster you remember Rhymes. H2O? Don't you remember part 6? I mean, come on. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I wanted to leave the movie in part 6. Like,
I saw that at theater too. I saw that also. Yeah, and I was like, this is awful. I mean, I remember thinking like they've gone so far from the.
Yeah, it might never come back.
I don't think it ever did. So,
no, it didn't.
Well, I'm going to run through what I watched here, Mr. Ben Harley. That was our little Halloween tirade. Our little cane Halloween. Waving, there about it. So we hope the new one's good. We're gonna save judgment, is what we're saying. And Harley, I'm not gonna not like it just to be cranky. It's not me. What? It's not me. I want to like it. I really do. But
I know.
I mean, I might not like it for a Halloween movie. I just want to like it for a movie. You know what I mean? But I already know that the way I saw Michael Myers snap his head to the side, that looks like a Kane Hodder Jason Voorhees to me. So that bothered me. That bothered me. He always moved like a robot, real slow. And it's like, so where you're digging the mask, I feel you. I'm not digging his movement at all. But we'll see. Again, we will see. So let me get some stuff here, Mr. Ben Harley. I did watch some spooky stuff for Halloween, but I always watch spooky stuff. So just making excuses now. But running through here. Let's start off real quick with something that's not spooky. How about that? We'll do that. First off, real quick, just wanted to mention this. Did watch a documentary that you might enjoy, Mr. Ben Harley, called Mentors, Kings of Sleaze.
Oh, the Mentors.
Mentors, yes. It's a documentary about the Mentors, so you can imagine what that's going to be like. Fairly interesting.
One of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Well, they'll explain it to you if you watch this documentary. They actually have the singer, was it Blog from
he wasn't
Dwarves.
There when I saw.
From Dwarves is in there talking too. So, you saw it without El Duce?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died. So you probably saw the band app. They just kept going. They kept going after he died. So, but not too bad. It's on Amazon. Just came up like a day or two ago.
Okay.
So it's called Mentors, Kings of Sleaze.
Yeah, I would definitely check that out. Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Yeah, not too bad. Another documentary. Watch two documentaries. I'm going to run through real quick. The other two are horror related. Apparently, my son Chance has gotten into Friday the 13th movies. And you know how he's done it? From YouTube videos and video games.
Oh, yeah.
He knows. Well, he knows that part 2 has a baghead. He knows the plot points of all the Friday the 13th movies. And I'm like, Chance, don't you think you got to maybe want to watch one of the movies where you walk around like an expert on these things? Jeez. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
He wants to watch the Friday the 13th movies, which of course I will oblige. These days, those are like PG-13 movies.
Sure. I was thinking about doing that myself, buddy.
There you go. Well, and then
I got them down here now. Yeah.
And then, so what we did is instead, to start off with, is we watched the documentary. His name was Jason.
Yes.
So we watched that. Not too bad. That's the one that it's got a couple things that bother me in it. It's kind of more like an A&E popcorn documentary.
Yeah.
Than I appreciate.
I kind of remember it.
Yeah. But one that was much better, Mr. Ben Harley, something I think that maybe I even talked to you about a little bit before. I've been waiting to see this, believe it or not, and it's really good. It's called To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder Story.
Oh, okay.
And that's also on Amazon Prime. That's really good.
Nice. Okay.
That's really good because Kane's had a hell of a life. It's been, lots of ups and downs and stuff. And God, who doesn't know Kane, right? I mean, we all know Kane. He's a friendly guy. He loves doing these shows and loves talking to people and hanging out with everybody. So all of us would consider Kane at least an acquaintance, right? So it's very interesting to go back and to see this and to see the real Kane. But it's good. It's really good. Very touching. I think Angie was crying a couple times.
Really?
Yeah. So it's touching. Because that burn, that burn accident he had and everything, that was pretty rough on him. He took him a long time to recover, and it was bad. Doctors not doing the right things for him. He was recovering for over a year, I think. With that stuff. Yeah. So again, it's called To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder Story. It is on Amazon Prime. Look for it. Look for it for sure. Let's see, moving on real quick, Mr. Ben Harley. From 1987, The Majorettes. This was a movie that was based off of a book by John Russo and was directed by Bill Hinsman. These are all people that were involved in Night of the Living Dead. These are all Pittsburgh guys.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this was the people that, not Romero, but the other people that were doing Night of the Living Dead. Even Russ Striner, who plays Johnny. He plays a wacky priest in this movie. That's a weird movie. It's a big regional movie, and a lot of those movies, even some of Romero's movies, were kind of big regional movies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they just feel like regional. Like Alien Factor was a regional movie made in Baltimore. To me, and those can be good. They still make them on video cameras now. Now there's like 3 million of them come out every day. Right. This was back when you had to buy film and things and actually had to put some effort into making a movie as opposed to today. But, I don't know. It's got cute girls in it, Mr. Ben Harley.
Hey, there we go. Well, that's a plus.
There's some skin in it and stuff, but, it's a curious movie because of the people involved. Let's put it that way. So, but I would not recommend it. But if you're a curious guy like I am, who just has to watch all this shit, The problem is I've seen it a couple of times already, but not for maybe 20, 25 years. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I saw it right when it came out on VHS and stuff. I'd heard about it. I knew the guys from Night of the Living Dead. Again, Fangoria. I knew the guys from Night of the Living Dead were doing something else. And so anyway, it's more of a slasher movie. Let's put it that way. Slasher movie, very kind of a standard slasher movie. Let's see. Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley.
Lay it on.
We got 2 more here. One of them, I don't know. You might be able to speak on both of them from talking to me before the show, but I got 2 more. One of them from 1943 is Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman.
Oh, yeah. I tried to watch that last night.
Oh, you tried, didn't really get to it, did you? So, yeah. Well, we've been kind of trying to watch the Universal Monster series in order. The ones that fit together, which is the Frankenstein, Wolfman, those series. Well, those series kind of run together. The Frankenstein and the Wolfman. We get there's a little bit of Dracula. We got a little bit of Dracula in some of them, but there's no mummy, so kind of like, and no Invisible Man either. So it's only a few of the monsters, but we're trying to go in lineage. Now, one of our official films this week is the Wolfman. So this takes place after the Wolfman.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we decided to throw it in. We watched Wolfman first, and we went through this in. Not too bad. This is the one where Lugosi is the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, that's right.
And the poor Lugosi, if you remember at the end of, oh, good gravy. Which one was it? Actually, this one wasn't right after the Wolfman, but sort of. It's right after Ghost of Frankenstein. It's also right after. It's after Ghost of Frankenstein and after the Wolfman. So you combine. That's where these two merge into the monster mashup movies. Right there, because at the end of Ghost of Frankenstein is the one where Lugosi is playing Igor, and he tricks the guy into putting his brain piece into the monster played by Lon Chaney. Yeah. Okay, so now this one, Lugosi's playing it like this all happened to the monster. Unfortunately, when they put the movie together, they edited all that out, and so Lugosi's walking around like he's blind, like he's and you see his mouth moving because he was talking. He was Igor, and he just happened to be playing the monster this time. So how convenient! And Chaney, I think, wanted to play both roles. It's like, Chaney, put the beer down. And put the gin down in the other hand, It's like, no. So, but Lionel Atwill, he picked the mayor this time to play.
Oh yeah.
And Dwight Fry is showing up still. Here too. And of course, we have that Maria Ospinskaya, who was the gypsy lady from the Wolfman and stuff like that. So pretty much fun, pretty good time. Lugosi is tough as the Frankenstein monster. It's kind of hard to watch for that, but it's still a Universal horror movie. So
I had to do an update or whatever on my PlayStation 3. Now that shows you how updated or whatever I am. So I wasn't able to watch it honestly.
I can talk about it next week maybe if you get a chance to look at it. So because in the Space Time Continuum in real time, we still haven't hit Halloween yet. So it'd be a good movie to watch around that time. I bet your little girl might like that one a little bit. Yeah, it's got a little monster action in it. So Well, last up, Mr. Ben Howie, something that I know that you wanted to ask me about and talked about is I did finally sit down. I had the house to myself on Saturday. We did have, I want to mention that too. We did have a podcast come over. I had a Fragile Porcelain Mice band practice, and we did have a podcast come by. The Cerebral Entertainment podcast came by and interviewed Fragile Porcelain Mice. So,
nice.
I got to plug our podcast on their show, and I'm plugging their podcast on our show now. So very nice guys.
Yeah, so, that works.
Yes, so we had a little band practice, a little interview time. And then I had the house to myself because Angio and the kids went to her grandma's house. So
nice.
I'm like, look, I got a block of time here. And I'm going to fill the whole fucking thing with this 2.5 hour Star Wars The Last Jedi thing here. So I put in the Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Speak to me, my son.
I think, what did I tell you? Mark Hamill is no Alec Guinness. He's a space station.
Yeah, but
that's
I
no
like
moon.
Mark Hamill. Yeah, but
Mark Hamill is just not the right. He's not. I know he is Luke Skywalker. I know that. I understand that, but I don't know if it's he doesn't have the acting chops or he doesn't have the personality. He's just not a wise old sage. When I saw like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, you wanted to jump out of your seat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In this movie, you want to send the characters a card. You want to send them thoughts and prayers. I don't know, man. It's like there were some good moments. There were some good moments. There were some Star Wars moments. But it almost like went from 0 to 60, 0 to 60, 0 to 60, 0 to 60. Mm-hmm. It's like this whole arc is introduce characters and then tell you what family member they are of each other. That's really where we've gotten to in this thing. And Mark Hamill just, I don't know, man. I mean, it really goes to show you what Alec Guinness did for those movies and what Mark Hamill did as a young Skywalker.
Sure.
But I always had a problem with Mark Hamill as the series went on. I
actually enjoyed him more as a series. I didn't like him at the beginning. I was a kid, of course I did.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, when I watch him, he's a whiny, and then I liked him in Empire. I much preferred him in Return of the Jedi. He finally started to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was so disappointed in the way they did his character in this. It just made me not like the film. There's a lot of it that I don't like, and I liked the one before this. Was good, and I was looking forward to this one. I like the whatever they're not the Empire now or the First Order. I think they kick ass. I like the First Order. I'm down. But man, stuff happened in this. I'm just like, well, okay. Princess Leia flying in space. I'm throwing a flag.
I'm throwing a flag. I'm penalizing the fucking movie for that. What on earth was that? What?
Yeah.
No. What was that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know.
I mean,
well, I really don't.
What the hell was that? At first, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way for Leia to die. You never really see people get pulled out in space in the Star Wars movies.
And I thought that was it. It should have been the way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. So she gets sucked out into space, and she's out there for a good 5 minutes. Listen, you can't survive in space. You're pretty much instantly dead. That's it.
Yeah, you die.
You have no clue as to how cold, the lack of pressure, how cold it is.
You're done.
You're
done
just
instantly.
You're boiling, exploding, and freezing at the same time.
Imploding. Yeah. So,
you're gone. So, okay, fine. She's out in space, crystallized, and opens her eyes and points her finger and flies through space. I'm sorry, but honestly,
it made spaceship.
Yes, it made less sense than Sharknado.
When they went out in space. It had that feeling of Sharknado, and that's like. Well, here's my thing, and I'm try to sum it up without getting too long-winded. The last movie, they spent the entire film, which upset. I mean, I liked it, but they spent the entire film looking for Luke Skywalker. We find Luke Skywalker, and boom, movie's over. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. Okay, all right, well, great. Luke Skywalker is going to be in this one. He's going to be great. He's going to be fucking Luke Skywalker. He's going to kick ass. He's going to have all the powers now. He's going to be like the Emperor. He's going to have so many. No. He might have. All they showed him doing was milking, I don't know. Dude, I just was upset. And he was salty and just and then the whole thing, should we let the whole thing die? Lightning hit the Tree of Wisdom or wherever he had all the fucking ruins of the Jedi. And then Yoda's laughing about it. Wait, what? Oh, man. So, I don't care if I give away the end of this movie. If you haven't seen it, then I don't flip.
There's really no ending. I mean, it's not surprising. No. It's a ripoff of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. What I hated, though, I will say, the thing that upset me the most about the film, besides Luke being curmudgeon-y and not doing nothing for more than 3/4 of the film, was okay. This was like Star Wars on steroids, where we gotta blow this thing up. Wait, this thing's chasing us, and then we gotta figure out a plan to blow this thing up. No, we landed on another planet. Okay, we gotta figure out a plan to blow this other thing up. Now we're on a whole nother planet, and we gotta do another plan to figure out how to blow this thing up. Like, oh my God, make it stop.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing you blow things up I like explosions as much as the next guy, but you know what I'm saying? There's only so many times that you can blow up a space station, blow up a Death Star, blow up a Star Destroyer. No, come on, man. Right. It happened 3 times in this movie. I'm like, I've had enough.
Right.
So by the time Luke Skywalker showed up at the end, I actually was happy about the ending. It kind of, I don't really care about the rest of the film. I don't even really remember. I tried watching it again and didn't even finish it because I just didn't like it. But the ending, I'm cool with. Touchdown, Luke Skywalker, thank you. That was it. I'm good. But other than that, kiss my lily white butt.
there's so many characters. I don't know who anybody is. They jumped in this movie. There's the African American guy who looked familiar to me. Was he in one of the Star Wars story movies or something?
He was in the first one, the one before this. He was the guy that switched from the First Order, and then
fine, and then who was the other guy? Who was Harold Handsome Pants? Was he? He was like the best star pilot. Yeah, he was in the other one too. He was. They looked familiar. Let's put it that way. Yeah, but like when I went and saw Empire, I knew exactly who everybody was.
Oh hell yeah!
There was only a couple characters. I mean, there was only a few characters, and this one, it's kind of like that Lord of the Rings or the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
There was just way too many characters, way too many things going on. It's like slow. It's like you speed it up to where I can't tell what's going on, and then you slow it down to where you're lulling me to sleep. There's nothing to grab onto because I don't know who these people are. I don't know what their motivation is. I don't know what they're getting at. I don't know what they're doing. The only character that I kind of remembered was that, what's his name, Kylo Ren or whatever.
Yeah.
Look, dude, put your shirt on, by the way. You know, it's like, come on, man. Come on. I got family eyes, all right? Come on. Put them on, you know. I just, in the whole thing with their mind melting together, I was like, I did kind of like the Emperor guy, the CG monster guy.
Off,
yeah, I mean, he was okay. Yeah, he was good. Yeah. He was a good CG character, too. He was pretty good. Right. He was, you know, and he had a lot of cool kind of smarmy emotions and things like that.
Yeah, there's things disappointed about that.
Yeah, there's things I liked about it, and then there's things I don't know. It is what it is. This is the reason I'm not excited for the Halloween movie. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Now you get it. Now you see. It's like this is the reason. It looked good too.
I know your reason.
It looked good too. You know, but
I kind of liked the last one. I mean, it wasn't breaking new ground, but they did things kind of right. It felt like Star Wars again.
Oh, The Force Awakens.
It
wasn't too bad.
Man. This just doesn't. I don't know.
But let me ask you this: did you think you liked it more because the original characters were mostly back?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, they just brought him back to kill him off, you know.
Exactly, and that's the thing, man. I'm like, you know, I don't know. You could.
It's like you want to come back to see your heroes die, and then here's our new ones that we.
No, I just wanted to see Luke Skywalker come back and beat somebody's butt, and I really did. I just wanted to see some ass kicking Skywalker style. I don't know, man. I didn't.
It's going to be up to Yoda, Ben Harley. It's going to be up to Yoda's ghost. It's going to be up to Yoda's ghost. So. That's what's going to happen. Yoda's ghost is going to save the universe. You think that's a silly statement? You watch. About 10 years from now, you're going to be sitting with Star Wars, the final battle, and Yoda's going to save the universe. You're going to go, holy shit, Timo called that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you know, so, but what do you got, Ben Harley? I don't want to.
Nothing.
I'm getting a rash talking about that Star Wars.
I don't got nothing, Tim.
You got nothing?
No, actually, I got a few
Give me
things.
something.
First off, I want to say something, not to be on a sad note, but a good friend of mine passed away this last week.
Oh, sorry to
hear that. Yeah. You've heard of this gentleman before. It's through, I've spoken to him. This is a friend of mine named Bob Revell. Okay. Bob Revell had a band called Bob Noxious.
Okay.
And I think you've heard me talk about that because we laugh about the Bob band and stuff. Right. And I've mentioned Bob Noxious over the years. But yes, Bob Revell, a good friend of mine, had passed away. I think Bob was 54.
Oh, wow.
Want to say, he's a super nice guy. Probably never met a guy with more wit. Maybe Tim O'Saban. Maybe close. Real
I'm
close.
A little cranky, though.
Yeah. And he was, too. But the guy had a good wit about him, a great humor. Was an awesome singer. And I'll miss seeing him sing Sabbath songs, and sitting in with other friends of mine. I got to announce Bob Noxious back in the day when they came back from the tour of the Orient.
Wait. No, I'm always keep going. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little respect. Keep going.
Yeah. But, Bob Noxious, Bob Revell, a great friend, a good human being. He worked in the Stagehands Union for the last, probably 15, 20 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, did a lot of that here in town, a lot of big bands that came through, and Bob was like the head guy. And I just want to, send out a good vibes to him. He was good to me, especially with the Potentate of Hate stuff. He always enjoyed the potentate of hate and always enjoyed calling me the potentate of hate.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter where we were. If I was picking up to go down the street, he still mentioned, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I had to mention that.
Absolutely.
He was a good guy, good musician. And I said, Toledo has lost a good rock legend and a hell of a funny guy too.
That's sad to hear.
Yeah,
Sad to hear.
Yeah. But no, I wanted to do that. Thank you, Tim. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Moving along. Bob, yeah. He also had a good band called Bob Revell and the Bastards from Hell when we were all younger. So, all right, Tim, I'm gonna try to go through some of this stuff kind of fast. I did finish up Motel Hell. I know we talked about this. I finished it the other day. I'm glad I went back and finished it. I still consider that one of the better horror films in my book.
Yeah, it's a zany one. Yeah,
I love that movie. I just love it. So it was good going back and watching it. I love what's her name, Beulah Ballbricker. She's a good character. I love her in that and Porky's. It's got good stuff, but there is a gaping hole, Timo, at the end of this film for me that you might want to Okay, so they had the fight with him and his brother had the fight with the chainsaw.
Right.
He dies. He takes what's her name. They leave. They go find Beulah, buried upside down. Right. Now, where did the rest of those they're not zombies now, but the humans that he buried, they're just gone. And the one guy goes, well, I guess there's going to have to be an investigation. The one cop was from Chips. Oh my God. I'm like, I think there's going to have to be an investigation. You don't think? Or I don't know if they were leaving that open for a part 2 that they might take over. I don't know, but
you mean after they
feel
all
that way?
Yeah, you mean like after they all got out of the earth and started running around and stuff. Oh, they're out. They're gone. They're all they're responsible for Bigfoot sightings now.
Yes, exactly. They're gone.
They're out in the wilderness.
I never really noticed it when I but it's funny. So but yes, finished that. Timo, I know the movie that we're about to speak about. That we reviewed, Wolfman. I don't know if maybe I should save this for later, but I did watch they had the Life of Lon Chaney, like The Pure of Heart. Oh, okay. It's about a 30-minute documentary on him.
Where was that at?
It's on that Wolfman Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got that too then.
Really good. Yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. You feel for him towards the end a lot. And they talk about Spider Baby. Sid Haig's in it. It's nice. They talk about Spider Baby and some of his other films. But they say some nice things. A lot of the people in there say some really good things. They would say, if there was a hard part, get Lon Chaney, especially like in the television days or stuff like that too. Or if there was something in film that they needed someone that, this might be get Lon Chaney Jr. to do it. And so it's good. I don't want to give too much away, I'm sure you could read about it a lot, whatever.
yeah.
It's history, but you might enjoy it, Timo. It's good. Yeah, it's called Pure Heart. And you know me, I'm a big fan and I guess a sucker for Lon Chaney. I feel for him, and I think that's part of his allure, maybe. And they speak of it in there. You feel for the guy. Yeah. He wasn't he wasn't Bela Lugosi, He's not Boris Karloff.
No, he was a better actor.
Right. I think
he was a better actor. Maybe not than Karloff, but he's a better actor than Lugosi. And we spoke about this. Lugosi's, he should be remembered for Igor because he's great as that. He's great. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just, nobody plays a tortured soul better than Lon Chaney. I mean, maybe it's because he was one a little bit, but I'm just saying, nobody does it better than him. His Lawrence Talbot is just I want to kill him to be nice to him.
To be nice to him, right?
Kill him,
right?
Just to be
feel for him,
be kind to him. Kill him, stab him in the eye. So,
last but not least, they had a couple other things on there too. Documentaries. One called Backlot, which is really cool about Universal Backlot. Which, man, that's cool how much stuff was done there. And that little back lot, what I mean? It blows my mind. A lot of Creature of the Black Lagoon. It's not a big lagoon back there either.
It's not black either.
And it's not black. Yeah, So that was cool. I know you'd appreciate this. They had the Jack Pierce, a little thing on Jack Pierce also in there, which I enjoyed as well. That was a cool little documentary. But that's it, Timo. That's it.
All right. Let's get to our official little films, Mr. Ben Harley.
All right, bud.
Let's see. We thought for Halloween we'd do a couple of pretty well-known Halloween-y kind of movies. So we tried. Yeah. We tried one a little older, one a little newer. We tried to do that too a little bit. We tried to do something a little older, and by newer we mean 30 to 40 years old. That's newer for us. So about as old as we are. That's newer.
That's
yeah. We're going to start off with something even older than us, Mr. Ben Harley, by about 30 years or so.
Ooh, that's old.
Yes, this is The Wolfman, as we've been talking about, from 1941. So I know we don't need the synopsis of The Wolfman, but let's keep with protocol here and get out, movie guy, and do a real short one-sentence storyline synopsis for The Wolfman. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
A practical man returns to his homeland, is attacked by a creature of folklore, and infected with the horrific disease his disciplined mind tells him cannot possibly exist. Okay. Yeah, well, that's it. That's fine. Everybody knows what Wolfman's about.
Yeah. Lawrence Talbot.
Something that I picked up on this time watching it. Now, of course, we've all seen this movie many times. Even listening, if you're a casual horror fan, which I don't know why you're listening if you are, but you've seen this. Everybody's seen The Wolfman.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that, I get on Lugosi, right? I just got on him a little earlier.
Yeah,
I get on him a bit. But there's another character. There's another character I think he was really good in, which is Bella, which is from this movie.
Yeah.
And he technically was the first Wolfman.
Yeah. Yeah,
because he is the wolf that bites Cheney. Now, what's interesting about that, Harley, is that when Kurt Siodmak wrote the screenplay, it was more like the Cat People, where you never really knew for sure or not if Cheney was turning into a Wolfman or if he was just going mad and killing people. You didn't really know. So but the studio added all the Wolfman parts to it. That's what they wanted. They said, you got to have a Wolfman, got to have a Wolfman. Well, and it was the right call. But if you watch the movie knowing that it was originally written not to be like that, you start noticing things. Like if you edit out all of the Wolfman scenes, you still got a pretty creepy mystery story going on.
Oh, yeah.
That you don't know what's going on. If you never see Cheney turn into anything, you don't know what's going on. Because of the dad, is it Claude Rains or whatever? You just don't know. And so what's interesting is that Bela Lugosi, as the gypsy, all right, is the first werewolf. But what is he, Ben Harley? He's on all fours.
Yeah.
It is a wolf. It's a wolf.
He's a damn shapeshifter.
Yes. So even in the Wolfman, the first wolf is a four-legged. And I found that I thought about you right away. Yeah. I was like,
son of a bitch.
The Wolfman's betraying Harley. Harley. But I found it interesting because I'm not so sure that wasn't in there to be the only real thing you see of a wolf in the film. I'm not so sure it wasn't supposed to be that. You would think that Bella would be another wolf man, but he's not. He turns into a wolf. So I found that very interesting. So I already mentioned Claude Rains. So Claude Rains is in it. Ralph Bellamy, Evelyn Ankers is in it. Kurt Siodmak wrote the script. I believe George Wagner directed it. He's done some pretty cool stuff in his career.
Ralph Bellamy's shook in this one. He's just salty.
I like Ralph Bellamy. He's in a few of these movies too. So you kind of picked this out, Harley. You wanted to go back and watch this, and I do believe didn't I get this for you for a Christmas gift or Halloween gift one year? The Legacy collection of Wolfman. Yes. So
the Blu-rays.
What'd you think, Harley? Going back to one of your faves.
I enjoyed it, Timo. I got my new 50-inch television. I was, wanting to watch it on there, and I kind of want to watch it with Sydney a little bit. It's funny, one of her first words was werewolf. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
So it's Chance's. One of his first one was too. Yep. Werewolf.
Yeah,
werewolf.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're wolf, right? So I was really excited about watching it, and I do enjoy this movie, and it's funny how short it is. It is short movie. Short. It gets right to it too. But the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and probably Creature of the Black Lagoon. Those were my introductions to horror because like I've said before, when I was a kid, I'd watch them at the library when my mom would take me there, and we'd watch them on reel to reel, and that was my introduction to these movies. And they and I was thinking about the other day before I started watching this, I was like, that was the Wolfman to me. That was the werewolf to me. I didn't know any other werewolves before this. You know what I mean? I didn't and that's why I think like the Howling and American Werewolf in London, I loved so much and I gravitated towards because that was like the coming, for me, the second coming of the werewolf for me.
Right.
Of the werewolf movie. But this movie, I love this movie mostly for the fact of, I love Lon Chaney Jr.
Right.
I think he's great in it. His from when he first comes into the movie or back home to his end is a pretty good transformation, no pun intended, of a character, which I like as well. Right. He's pretty carefree when he comes there. And he's not, at all at the end. So I do like that. I still kind of like the Wolfman. The look of it always threw me a little bit. It wasn't my favorite, but it's okay. My problem is his hair. The hair. My hair.
It's got a bit of an afro, yeah.
Maybe if he had more, the ears were pointed a little bit more and his hair was a little bit more scruffy, I'd probably be in, because I love the face.
Give him some pointy eyebrows. Give him something on there.
Right. Yeah. So, all that being said, though, I love the sets on this film.
Yeah.
I love it works really well with the black and white. The creepy trees, it's very lonely, it's very simple, and I think that also fits well with Lawrence Talbot's character. It's not a lot going on in this movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's not. There's a few things, I guess what I'm saying, there's not a lot of sets and big grandiose things going on. You know what I mean? There's the house, his father's house. There's the antique shop, and then basically the woods. And that's really it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm good with that. I like that. I'm cool.
Right.
And I like this movie for the woods for some reason. I always have. It's always made me a little scared.
It definitely captures the beautiful countryside of South Northwest Universal Europe-y.
Whereversville.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is this taking place and in what time? Yeah. So but those are kind of fun for that.
Laugh too.
Yeah.
And dang old Lawrence Talbot, though, I forgot about him peeping through what's her name's window. His telescope.
I remember telling Angie, I was like, I'm not so sure that
flirting.
that way of flirting would work. That was the original Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Instead of going to your computer and checking out pictures of people, you would just take a spyglass and look across town, right? How much different is it, really?
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I'm really glad to go back and watch this, Timo.
Yeah,
I think it's a great movie. Claude Rains is awesome in it.
Yeah, I think Claude Rains really gives it the weight it needed.
Yeah,
this movie it separates it from being another one of the silly '40s Universal horror films, and this one is not. This one found a way in 1941 to feel like 1933. It found, just the tone of it, the darker tone of it and stuff, and it found a way. Now, Lugosi wanted Chaney's part. He wanted to play the Wolfman. But I think this was casted perfectly. I think that Lugosi was casted perfectly as the gypsy guy. My problem with this movie, all right, and it's always going to be a problem with it, is that I still think it's the lamest thing of all time that he gets beat to death with a stick.
By
an old dude, old short guy.
Yeah.
Claude Rains is about 4 foot
nothing.
One.
Yeah, he's shorty.
Yeah. He comes up to my shoelaces.
Yeah.
And it's just seeing him beat him with a stick. It's like, it doesn't really make the Wolfman seem very threatening when you can.
But it was a silver stick.
It was a silver stick, but something tells me if we were watching The Howling or American Werewolf in London, I don't think a silver stick was going to work.
No, you get buzzsaw.
I don't think, yeah. I think he might just throw the stick down and just, But well, it's kind of like saying, to me, it's almost like saying that you could also take a vampire and beat him over the head with a wooden stake and kill him.
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I think it's more than just. You might need to break some skin in a forceful kind of way. Anyway, but that's it.
No,
you have to understand.
I wasn't real happy about that either.
Yeah. It's always bothered me about it. I do really like the atmosphere of this film, and it feels real. It feels real as in it feels like the real Universal horror film atmosphere, whereas the monster mashups like that we've been talking about, the later ones, they got the black and white and kind of like the Fog Machine feel to them, but just not as authentic. This was, to me, like the last authentic Universal weird Europe-y kind of horror films. It just was to me.
And I think this set off a whole nother, because he'd done some other horror stuff before this, hadn't he?
He just did. He just did.
I thought he did that man.
He did
Monster.
that one. That was right before this. That was it. Yeah, where he was the electrified guy.
And they gave him real good reviews on it. And that movie actually. In that documentary I watched.
He was known mostly for Of Mice and Men.
Yeah. Which he was great.
He was great in that. Him and Burgess Meredith are just unbelievable.
It's a great story.
It's a great story. Yeah. But I mean, look, it's just, we kind of wanted to go back and watch it. It is Halloween time. We wanted to remind people that this movie's out there. I'm pretty sure in Turner Classic Movies around this time of year, you're going to find all these movies on there. I think they own the whole collection. Or at least rights to play them and stuff. So, I mean, Turner Classic Movies around this time of year is where to go. It's the only place to go as far as I'm concerned. But of course, The Wolfman's a big, great Bape Up. It's a great movie. Chaney's wonderful in it. Claude Rains is always wonderful. And I always find it kind of fascinating that Claude Rains is really completely tied into these Universal horror films, but he's always forgotten. Why? Because he's the Invisible Man. What a thankless,
hard to see him.
What a thankless part. The Invisible Man. It was like Liam Neeson in Darkman. He's got bandages on his face the whole movie. It's the same thing, So, but big great Bape Up, Harley. I'm sure you're going to do the same.
No, I think I'm going to have to poo-poo on this.
Yeah, right.
Great Bape Up to the rafters. I enjoy. As a kid, I liked this film. But then as I got older, I'm like, oh, I'm much above that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to a certain point where I started to digress.
Right.
A little bit. And I mean, it's not that I didn't like these movies by any means. I still liked them. I just thought I knew better as far as the special effects and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I enjoy the black and white going back. And this movie, The Wolfman, I think this movie in particular works really well with black and white. And I like what's her name in this too.
Evelyn Akers.
Yes. What else was she in?
She's in more of these. She's in.
What was the other?
I think she was actually also in Ghost of Frankenstein. She's in
Ghost of Frankenstein. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's in. Actually, so was. I do believe. Was it Patrick Knowles? I think is in some of these also. Let me look here. He is. He's also in Frankenstein Meets a Wolfman and stuff. So some of the cast carried over to some of these other movies too.
I don't know what it is, Tim. I like them girls the way they look from that era. I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
You mean you're attracted to class and style?
Yeah.
Really?
Those hairdos? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's see. From 1984. This is one that we've had rolling around for years. So we've never reviewed here. Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet.
1984. Yes, from our adolescence. Let's put that where this movie's from. Let me get out Movie Guy and do the quick little storyline synopsis. Here we go. All right.
Yeah.
A comet wipes out most of life on Earth, leaving two valley girls fighting against cannibal zombies and a sinister group of scientists. Yes.
There it is.
We got the Earth travels through the tail of. Now you got to remember back. What was it? 86 when Halley's Comet came. So remember, you got to take the time that this movie came out in.
Yeah,
we were preparing for Halley's Comet, and it was going to come close, and we're probably going to go through the tail. Now, when you go through the tail of a comet, we all know it's well, maybe not just a tail.
It's like a swoosh.
Well, we go through it's
debris.
You might get a meteor shower. Let's put it that way. And stuff. So this is going to be a big deal. We're going through the tail of a comet. I'm not so sure if in today's age that people would be partying on the streets that we were going through the tail of a comet. They'd probably be holding on to their nutsacks for life, holding that someone didn't get the math wrong, right? On that,
right? Yeah.
See, stars Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Mulroney.
Yeah.
Robert Beltran from Eating Raoul And then,
Okay.
let's see, Sharon Farrell plays the girl's mom. She's only in it for a little bit. Now, I
she's
met her
okay,
at a Cinema Wasteland. She sat next to
Oh, you
Scary
did, really?
Gary. Yeah. And I had just seen Lone Wolf McQuaid with Chuck Norris in it, and she's in that. So I just watched Lone Wolf McQuaid. Now, what's interesting is that her son in real life, his name is Chance.
Oh, really?
And he happened to play Brian, the little boy survivor in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So that was him.
Yeah.
So you got him in. Of course, we can't let this go without talking about Mr. Jeffrey Lewis, right?
Jeffrey Lewis.
Lewis. Mary Warnov and him.
Yeah, Mrs. Togar.
Yes. Yes.
Or Principal Togar. Sorry.
Yes.
Principal Togar.
As the scientists who are underground, they know something might happen. Yeah. So there's a group of scientists at an underground bunker. Unfortunately, they basically left a window open. So the comet made everyone on the Earth turn into dust, except for a few people who it's turning into monsters first, and then it's going to turn them into dust. So because they left the windows open at the research underground, might I add,
they've had
research field, they're going to go slow. They're going to be some of the slow. I guess let's call them zombies. So that's what you got, and then. The scientist people are kind of looking for survivors because they want to farm their blood.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it gets a little, I think as the scientist people go a little more wacky with comet disease, they start getting meaner and more nefarious.
Yeah, aggressive.
Yeah, basically. So basically it's just it's a movie about, it's more of a romantic comedy kind of at the end of the world in a way.
Yeah.
And it's what you would do if you had no rules anymore. You know, you could go to the mall, you could take whatever you wanted, you could do this, you could do that. So it's a little bit more of a fun, lighthearted feel as much as you can when everyone's
an apocalypse,
dead.
Post-apocalypse film.
Right. What'd you think, Carly, going back to this?
Not too bad, buddy. You know, it's funny. What's the main girl? Oh, God, the sister, the older sister.
Catherine Mary Stewart?
Yeah, I like her. Mm-hmm. Now, she was playing Tempest on the video games. She had a couple weird looking faces while she was playing that. But other than that, for the rest of the film,
could you do with it?
Yeah.
Was it a deal breaker?
It might have been, brother.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. She reminds me of Christy Myers, who broke my heart back in the day in 1986. Believe it or not, Tim. He looks like my old girlfriend. Yeah. So I have a thing for that girl, first off. Mm-hmm. But all that aside, I'll carry on. Yes.
She left you for the younger and more handsome me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, no, she does. It's funny. She does remind me of Christy Myers, who broke up in 86. But yes, I like her, though, as an actress. She's great. And I don't know. The movies... I knew what I'm getting into, you know. I knew it from before. I've only seen this once or twice over the years. You know?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's okay. I liked it, you know, and I wanted to kind of go back and revisit it. But the funny thing is, so her and her sister, she survives and then goes home, right, to meet her sister. Now, remember, Timo, 1986, Christy Myers just broke up with me, right? This movie's 1986.
No, it's 84.
Right? 84?
Yeah,
right? Okay.
1984. Yeah.
Hey.
Video.
Space time.
Came out in video.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're in the 80s, right? Okay. So I was in high school in 85. I was a freshman, actually. So anyway, so it's funny when she goes home to get her sister, you know, and her sister's getting dressed in her cheerleading outfit. It's funny. Do you remember the name of the team, Timo? The Rebels?
No, I don't remember the name of the team.
Yes. Okay, the Rebels, yes. Well, I do, my friend, because I went to Bowser High School, and we were the Rebels, and it was the same exact colors. And I swear to God, Timo, our cheerleaders had the same exact cheerleading outfit, almost to a T.
Don't you live a little north of the Mason-Dixon line to have a team called the Rebels?
Oh, yes, yeah. Yes, Timo. I'm a damn Yankee, but yes, our Bowser High School, my high school, is still the Rebels, actually.
Well, mine was the Crusaders, so we weren't much better, I guess.
Right, yeah. So going in, watching this film right away, you know, the first couple minutes of the film, I'm like, wow, you know, Christy Myers, the Bowser Rebels, cheerleaders, 1980s, you know, all of it. I'm in Tempest. So what I like too is her character liked the movies too. She was a big fan of movies and worked at a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and like an all night. So they were having the all night Comet like
Party.
Palooza party.
Yeah.
And you notice there were some really cool posters they had up. All that being said, Timo, it made me feel right at home going back to this movie, you know. But as far as the movie goes, it's not a bad film. There's not a lot going on, which I like too. There's not a lot of, there's not many people left, so there's not a lot of villains.
Yeah, it's just young people getting together at the end of the world. That's all they're doing. They go to a radio station, they start playing some music, and then they kind of wander around seeing what's up. And then and the scientist guys are trying. They're the ones with the real purpose.
Yeah, because they hear them on the radio.
Yes,
they hear the girl gets on the radio and starts playing around, and then the scientists hear, and then that's when they show up, right? And start to mess around. But then they go to the like you said, they go to a mall. Mall, yeah.
They go to a mall because they're getting depressed, so they go to a mall. Look, this is very 80s. This could be more 80s. I mean, even toward the end when they're trying to create a family that pays attention to road rules and things like that. It's like total. I don't want to call it 80s conformity. That's a little over top, but like I don't know, just that family values type of thing that they push real hard, back then, and so they kind of are they're doing that. But then the sister runs off with some wild guy that pulls up the very end of the movie.
Finally finds a guy.
Yeah. So what happens is basically if you were encased in like metal of some sort. So if you were like hiding out in a shed, or if you were in a safe, or if you were somewhere else like that, or underground or something like that, you could survive this thing. So there's a few sparse people left, and they're just running into them. I liked this when it came out, but I don't think it's held up the best. I really don't.
No.
It's still kind of like a harmless, fun movie a little bit, but I don't know. I was kind of waiting for it to be over when I was watching it, and I haven't seen this for a while either. And I was like, I don't know. It's okay. And I could really do without the music. They really lean on like what was hip in 1984 music.
Awful.
Which is what I hated. Always hated. As a matter of fact, I was making
soundtracks are awful.
Yeah. I was making up songs to my own lyrics to the songs that, they were doing while we were watching it and stuff. And it's just, Oh, but I will tell you one thing I did note. They got some good post-apocalyptic neon for you. I know you get your panties in a bunch about the neon after the apocalypse.
Oh, man. Neon's the only thing that's going to survive.
Yeah,
so if you wrap
roaches.
yourself in neon, roaches. So definitely, Timo, this one, it did remind me of the 80s. It took me back. Did I mention Christy Myers?
Yeah, you did.
Myers.
You did. Yeah,
Myers. Get it?
Yes,
Myers,
I
mentioned that.
I'm gotten it. It's
Broke
been
my
gotten.
heart. 16, Timo. I was just a youth. I didn't do why'd she do it? She never.
She broke it in two.
She never loved me. Broke it in two.
Yeah, she'll come up on your doorstep in about it's 2 hours after now, and you will be like, no, I got enough problems. I got enough problems. Forget it. No, go back home. Yeah. That's the thing though. I think that I actually liked this when I was a kid because it's kind of a child fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, we all kind of fantasize, God, if all the adults like disappeared, but they left all the things they created, like electricity and TVs and games and things. Boy, wouldn't that be, which it wouldn't be great, but you think it'd be great for at least about a day or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until you realize you can't cook because you're too little. You never learn.
Right. And
mom
everything
wouldn't let you in
breaks
the
down.
kitchen.
And,
But it's
chemicals and gasoline breaks down.
And to be frank, the two young ladies in the film were a bit of a fantasy too. They kind of covered the bases, like what kind of type he had. I told Angie, I said, when I was a kid, I liked Catherine Mary Stewart's face and I wanted to put it on Kelly Mulroney's body. That's kind of what I sort of, and that,
I felt
how chauvinistic can you be? More than that, probably more than that, but I'm just talking as a child who was attracted to women, or a kid, who was attracted to girls, but it kept my interest having the girls, and they kind of played tough girl with the guns and stuff, which is kind of neat and everything. But I think this is a movie you watch the first time, and it's never going to be as good as that.
No.
Some movies get better with time and stuff. I don't think this is one of them. And I'm not going to poop on it, believe me. But it's not holding up as some of these movies, Harley, we watch. I'm just as exhilarated as I was back then. I mean, it's just as cool. You know, it might have slowed down a little bit given the pace of things today. But this movie definitely has that. It definitely has pace. It's definitely slowed down a little bit. But there's more to it than that. There's only a couple of ghouls running around. It's just people being dicks to each other.
Yeah.
For the most part. I get a little tiresome with that. I really do. I don't believe that that's what would happen if the world went to shit. I think people would pull together. Look what happened after 9/11. I just think that dystopian nightmare is sort of people that are obsessed with politics. It becomes like their obsession. That's what it's going to be like.
Sure.
If that makes any sense to you at all. I mean,
No, yeah.
I think when you're obsessed with politics, you're by definition pessimistic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, but I'm gonna give it a mild grape ape up. I can't go any lower than that, and I won't. I won't go. It's not a bad movie. It's fun. I like Mary Warnoff. I think Jeffrey Lewis is great as a smarmy, transforming scientist into a creature guy. It's not a whole lot of bang to it.
No,
I guess. What do you think?
I'm just gonna give a mild grape ape up as well. I like seeing my girl in there. She's good to see, and
Breaking your heart again.
breaking my heart again.
Yeah. I understand. Well, she did kind of look like the girl next door, like almost a stereotypical girl next door. And there was a couple of girls in my high school looked just like her too.
Yeah.
And of course, those were pretty girls in class. Of course they were, and stuff. But yeah,
broke it in two.
She broke it in two. Luckily, I never sniffed around close enough to any of those girls to have them break my heart. I sniffed around a lot of girls, but those girls, I was like, that's too much competition. I'm not going for you.
That was my problem.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah.
What was it?
You weren't a quarterback?
No.
Gotcha.
No, hockey player tried to make good.
Still takes being a quarterback though, even up north.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a mild grape ape up.
Yeah, me too, babe.
Okay. So it just doesn't hold up real well. It's still a good movie. We're not complaining to people that like it is a cult movie. We understand that. But just for us, I knew it wasn't gonna hold up that well for you too. I could tell. Yeah, I just knew. I thought you liked the neon though. You get into that, and the music. I knew you'd be dancing around the room too. Yeah. All right, so we got two mild grape apes up for Night of the Comet. Still a fun movie, just kind of and holding up too good. And the Wolfman is going to be two giant grape apes up because there's nothing else we can do with the Wolfman. That's just the way it is in the show. So, all right, well, Harley, again to everyone, happy Halloween.
Yeah,
be safe out there.
Go get spooky out there.
Right. Make sure and wear thick gloves when you're putting razor blades in the apples and the candy.
Yeah.
And stuff for the clit.
Don't hurt yourself.
Don't hurt yourself. Don't cut yourself. Make sure and also wear gloves when you're poisoning the candy too and stuff like that. Make sure to be safe. Be safe out there, folks. Okay. So and happy Halloween.
Ooh, be scary though, too.
yes, and enjoy and to see Harley. I guess next week. I don't know what we're doing, but we're getting into November, man. We're getting close to holiday season and turkeys and white bearded bikers from the north and things like that. And
I know,
excited
turkeys,
that time of year. Turkeys. That's right. That time of year. I might just go out in my yard and rustle them down.
Boom. Wrestle them. Don't wrestle them, Timo. Them things are tough.
They are tough. They're tough. They sound funny too, so that's always a good plus. But until next week, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Ooh, keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.